Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I was right. Marty's new Rat Run puzzle is out, number 22. It's called Copyrat, which is obviously a pun on copycat. I've had a quick look at the rules. They are extraordinary, but aren't we lucky? These are the halcyon days of variant Sudoku, and Marty's been making these Rat Run puzzles now for years. I've just started the new season, and well, the first one I did last week was fantastic. This one, I found it on Logic Masters, and I can show it to you here. You can see cruising along at a 100% approval rating, and we've got some preamble to read. So this is from the 21st of January 1975, Experiment 22 Cyan. It's been nearly a month now, and I still have no reasonable explanation for how it can have happened. Elliot maintains that it should not have been possible for an exit teleport to spontaneously produce a second copy, yet I cannot shake the feeling that he never seemed quite as shocked about it as me, or as determined to get to the bottom of it. Not that I think he can have expected anything quite like this, but anyway, I don't know what really that means. But there are the two rats again there. There's some comments at the bottom, people saying that, of course, it's very, very good indeed. I expect nothing less, and we'll read the rules together in a moment or two's time and hopefully get cracking. It is the most filthy day here in the UK. It has just been pouring with rain all day, from first thing this morning until now when it is 2:38 p.m. But I'm somewhat glad I'm going to be distracted from the weather by having a go at a puzzle. Now, there was a bonus video on the channel earlier on. I showcased part of my daily puzzle regime. I do lots of puzzles every day, but something that I've started to do since the start of December is these things called Thinky Dailies. It's by Thinky Games, who you may have heard of. They're sort of very, very good on all puzzle games, and they've started doing a daily puzzle, and I wanted to show you some of those puzzles because they're really, really very good. They've got it right, Thinky Games, because all the puzzles are handmade, fantastic, we know and we like that, but not only that, they haven't just got anybody to make the puzzles, they've got some of the world's best puzzle makers to make the puzzles, so that is a big tick. Another way they could have got it wrong is by getting the user interface wrong, but the user interface is also fantastic as well. So anyway, there's a short video. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen to it. Some of you have been saying, "Oh, can we get access to the puzzles immediately?" I think you can, but you might have to provide an email address to get in on the beta testing. So apologies if that's annoying to you, but for me it was fine, and I very much enjoy the puzzles. I think maybe at the end of January you might just be able to play them full stop, without providing an email address, if that's preferable to you. Now let's move on to other things. Over on Patreon, our competition is now closed. It is the 21st. I think that's going to be the 21st anywhere on earth. So the competition has closed, but I would love to have a look at the final tally. So this is where we were yesterday. So about this time yesterday we were at 996. So I presume we have skipped over the 1,000. We did, not by that much. 1,026 solves of the whole thing. I feel a bit bad for the gap between the 1,094 and the 1,026, because presumably those 68 people, I am guessing they will have tried very hard to do the 13th puzzle, and anyway, I hope it's not too disappointing, but fantastic work to the 1,000 of you who did manage to make it through all of Panthera's puzzles. Panthera, thank you very much for making such an absorbing pack. The feedback we've been having on it has been terrific, and we will draw the winner very shortly indeed and announce it on the channel. I can tease as well that those of you who've been with us for a while may remember the duality packs, which have been very popular in the past. I think we might have one of those as your February reward over on Patreon, so look out for that. Now, 2 birthdays to do today as well. Let me look at my list. Carolina in Estonia. Carolina, you've turned 24 today, and I know this because your boyfriend Christian wrote to me and told me that you got him into Sudoku and into cracking the cryptic. So thank you so much for doing that. I'm always delighted when I hear that people are sort of spreading the word about these puzzles. Christian says, Carolina, that you mean the world to him, and he is sorting out the chocolate cake. So there you go. I hope it's a good chocolate cake with lots of icing, of course. And then next birthday is for Ashley. Ashley, your husband Jake wrote to me and said, could we wish you a happy birthday? I think you use the videos to fall asleep to. I mean, I'm sort of pleased about that. And you're a cheesecake fan. Now, see, cheesecake's different, isn't it, in the UK to the US, I think. Cheesecake in the US, does it not have the biscuit base? I'm not sure. I quite like cheesecake. I quite like UK cheesecake. I've never been convinced about US style cheesecake, if I'm right that there's a difference. But really, Ashley, I hope Jake can get you some chocolate cake as well. That would be much better. Anyway, I hope you have a very happy birthday. Thank you for watching the channel. That's all the news. So we're going to have a go now at Rat Run number 22, Copyrat, by the brilliant, such an inventive mind and genius mind of Marty Sears. These are the rules of the puzzle. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying. Oh, what's it doing there? We've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. We've got the aim of the experiment. Finkz and this is going to be so. Finkz with an F and Phinx with a PH must both reach cupcakes by finding a path through the maze. The paths must not visit any cell more than once, cross themselves or each other, share cells, or pass through any thick maze walls. As well as moving orthogonally, Finkz and Phinx may move diagonally if there's a 2x2 space in which to do so, but may never pass diagonally through a round wall spot on the corner of a cell. So that means we couldn't do that motion because that goes through a round wall spot, but we could do that motion because that one doesn't. Now, what else? Copycat cells. Find 9 copycat cells in the maze, 1 in each row, column, and 3x3 box, and each containing a different digit. Right, so if that was a copycat cell and it contained a 1, and we found that this was a copycat cell, this could not be a 1. So although that 1 doesn't see this cell by Sudoku, we can't repeat digits in copycat cells. Now, what is a copycat cell? Right, the value of a copycat cell equals the digit in the cell that is 180 degrees rotationally opposite it in the grid. E.g., thank goodness, if row 1, column 3 is a 6, and row 9, column 7 is a copycat cell, let's just use purple for that, then row 9, column 7 will have the value of 6 regardless of what digit it contains. So if this had a 1 in it, it doesn't matter. For the purposes of values, this purple cell takes the value of this one, because if we were to imagine the grid was on a spindle coming through the very centre of row 5, column 5, and we twizzled it around 180 degrees, this cell would end up there, wouldn't it? So it takes this cell's value for the purposes of the copycat cell rules. Now, okay, we've got more rules. We've got blackcurrants. Yeah, there's loads of blackcurrants. If 2 cells are joined by a blackcurrant, then the value of one is double the value of the other. So if this was ignore copycat cells. If that was a 2, that could be a 4 because 4 is double 2, or it could be a 1 because 2 is double 1. Red currants. Have we had red currants in this series before? Red currants. If 2 cells are joined by a red currant, then one has an even value and the other has an odd value. Okay. Oh, it's all values as well, isn't it? So I'm going to get that wrong, I'm sure, as we solve. I'll forget that you could have a copycat cell that's going to change the value of itself, but it's the values that must have opposite parity across red dots and presumably across black dots where you have to have the 2-to-1 ratio, etc. Grapes, if two cells are joined by a grape, then their values have a difference of at least 5. And the test constraint, these are all different in every one of these 22 puzzles. In this one, it says, in this experiment, in any 3x3 box, the total value of the cells visited by Finkz with an F is the same as the total value of the cells visited by Finkz with a PH. This total must be determined for each box. Right, I was going to try and do an example there, but it's not exactly clear how that would work. So we're going to have different colours for the two rats. So let's use green. So let's say that one does that, and this one does that. Then I think what we're saying is that the value, can we re-enter boxes? Let me just check the rules. Yeah, we might be able to re-enter boxes as well, so that's a terrifying thought. But let's assume that these paths are the only instances of the green path and the pink path on through box 5. I think what we're saying is that those 3 digits would sum to the same as those digits. Oh, no, that's not quite right. These values would sum to the same as those values. Obviously, a digit in a cell might not be its value if it's a copycat cell. Whoa, there's so many opportunities for making mistakes here. Let me hope that I don't. They are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. What I immediately am drawn to here is presumably there's a reason that we can't just do that. I don't know what that reason is, but it looks like the rats could just go to the cupcakes they're next to. So why can't they do that? What's wrong with that? If it just closed. Oh, all right. I can see why. Okay, I'm going to have to sort of call these rats something different, aren't I? But Finkz and Phinx, they sound the same. It's very hard to do any explanations. But the box 3 rat, this rat, if it went directly to the cupcake, then these two cells would have some sum. I don't know what it would be in box 3. Now this rat would have to go into box 3 and spend enough time in there that along its path it had the same sum as the values of those two cells, and it can't get in there, can it? I think it looks like it could come in through that junction, but it then couldn't get out again because it can't revisit a cell it's been in, and it can't cross these two cells which would both be on the other path. So I think it is reasonable to say that this rat, we don't know where it goes, it could go either way, or it could go up, but it definitely doesn't go. No, it definitely doesn't go into the cupcake. I was then wondering, no, it simply doesn't ever hit this cupcake, does it? Oh, I'm trying to sneeze again. I don't want to do that. Go away, sneeze. Naughty sneeze. Because even if it does, yeah, even if it went away and came back and hit that cupcake, it's the same problem. So in fact, this rat has to get to this cupcake, and this rat has to get to that cupcake. So it's a stronger condition than saying this doesn't go directly to this cupcake. Actually, this rat simply never gets to this cupcake ever. Because if it did, this rat would have to get into box 3 and spend some time there, which it can't do. Well, it can't do and get out again, which it would need to do, because the end of this one's path would have to be that cupcake. So that one go... Right, so maybe what we do... Oh, I don't know, actually. I was going to... I know what we'll do. We'll put a little ring around it. So I don't know if that's going to be strong enough. Maybe I will do red. So those two have to meet up. And then I think green and red are my strongest circular colours. So that rat is going to the green cupcake, and this rat is going to the red cupcake. So we could draw that in, couldn't we? That we don't go that way. Right, so the green cupcake has to go down. The path to get to the green cupcake has to come from one cell now. And okay. Yeah, let's go back to box 3, because here's a question. Is this entry to box 3 ever used for either the rat or the cupcake? And I'm going to claim no. And the reason I think that must be true is that there's sort of 3 possible ways. I mean, if we include diagonals as being the same as directs, that's an entrance, isn't it, into box 3? That's an entrance, and that's an entrance. Admittedly, we could go diagonally across, but broadly speaking, there are 3 exits. So if I consume one at this exit or this entrance, how does the red one now get out? Well, the point I want to make is it has to go directly out. It can't go up now anymore. So what that means is that one of these is forced to be a one-cell path, if you like, in this box. And there's no way. So imagine it was that one, and that was as big as it could be. That would be a 9. I can't increase its value beyond 9, even using copycat cells. And this path, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the minimum length it could be. Now, I could make one of those cells a copycat cell, but 5 of the cells on that path are going to be natural numbers and different from one another, at least. And the triangular number for 5 is 15. So there is simply no way you could equate the green path with the red path if this entrance was used. It would be impossible. So what that means, I think, hang on, I've now mislabeled my colours, is because this is unused, the green path and the red path must leave box 3 immediately. And they can't cross one another. So yeah, we can't go diagonally there because of the wall spot. So we're going to go down there, down there. That's the first thing that I think, well, not the first thing, it's the last thing for the cupcake, but the first thing for the rat, the green rat. No, but I was going to say, okay, but the red could go diagonally, or it could go down for its next step. Oh, yeah, okay, but we've got to be careful now. Yeah, okay, so now, this is a weird point, but the green path, think about how we're going to connect the green path together. It's got to allow the red path to get across it, if you see what I mean. So the green path is going to have to stay higher in the grid than the red path. Because if the green path, for example, if the green path ever got to there, for example, you can see the red path can't get out. So that's not going to work. What's going to work is somehow, just to sort of show you how this could work, if this stays higher than the red path, well, ignore the fact we've got to go into boxes the same, but that's clearly a possible way of doing it. The green path has allowed the red path to be achieved. So what does that mean? I feel like it's trying to tell me that the green path, I want to keep the green path Yeah, this is hard to see, but I don't think the green path can go. I don't think it can go right now, down along here. Because bearing in mind that the red path, the red path is going to connect to this somehow. If you just imagine that in your brain. So there is some wall that is being drawn connecting this cell to this cell. Just draw it in your mind's eye, and then think about what would happen if the green line went to the right. It could never get out, because it would either have to revisit its own cells or it would have to cross the red path. So actually, this must go that way. And that's... Oh, I thought that was impossible. It's not. Right. That's quite interesting. No jokes. No joke. It genuinely is quite interesting, because now the green path has gone into box 7. So the red path has to go into box 7. Is it the case? Yeah. As I read the instructions, I thought this was right, but it is right, isn't it? It is not necessary in this puzzle. Some puzzles I've done with path drawing where you have to visit every box, but you don't have to do that here, because what the wording of the rule says is that the total value of cells visited by Finkz is the same as the total cells or value of the cells visited by pH Finkz. So what would happen if the value was 0? That's fine. 0 and 0 can be equivalent numbers. So if, for example, the path never goes in there, that's fine. For both rats, I mean. Although I don't think that's possible. I think we are going to use box 5, because I don't see how we're going to get these across otherwise. So yeah, okay, so just coming back to it then. We've gone into box 7 with green, so we must go into box 7 with red. But box 7 is really pretty, actually, because it has exactly 4 sort of portals. And we know, given the paths have to go in and out, and there are 2 rats, those 4 portals must all be used. And because we have to keep the green path on top of the red path, or to the left of it, we could think of it that way, we know that must be path, that must be path, and that must be path. Now I think that is right. The only thing I was slightly worried about there was, could we do a diagonal shimmy in any of those crossings, but I don't actually think we can. So now the red path can't go into the green path, so it's got to go there. Yeah. And now the red path could absolutely cross into box 5. That would be fine. But if it did that, the green path still has to get out of box 4. And the only way, actually, now that the green path can get out of box 4 is to go into box 1. But the moment that the green path goes into box 1, the red path has to go into box 1 as well. Now, what I don't know, what I can't see immediately. Oh, no, hang on, that won't work. I was just wondering whether the red path had to go through there, or whether it could go back into... It could sort of take a diversion into box 5, then go into box 1. I actually don't think it can. It's a bit like box 7, isn't it? There are 4... 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 portals into box 1. All of them, therefore, have to be used in order for 2 rats to go in and out of box 1. And again, given that we've got to keep the red path on the inside track, we actually can draw it in. We must be doing that, and then the green path, yeah, it has to do, yeah, all of those are forced. Again, I was just pausing to see whether we could do something like that, but we can't because of the wall spots. So, right, so the red path must do that because it can't bump into the green path. Now, does it go there or does it go there? It could go up and over the top, I think, and that green one could come round the side. We definitely now know... Oh, I tell you what we can do. This is a good idea. Look at box 5 now. Box 5 it's got several ins and outs. It has. But I think these 2 have to be used now. Because this one, we can't go into box 3 from box 2. So we know both of these are going to cut across this boundary. So two of these crossings will be used, which means the third one can't be used, because if the third one was used, the loop would, or the path would get stranded again in box 2. So 2 of these are used. So the only way to get, which will leave the path, or both paths in box 5, where they have to get out, they can't cross there. So both paths have to go across here. And the red path has to be lower. Now, yeah, and they actually do have to be horizontal, because that's not possible and that's not possible. So it's got to be a horizontal path for the red and a horizontal path for the green. Now, can the path go down? No, it can't. Yeah, I think box 9 is now definitely out of bounds. I've thought it might be originally, but it's definitely out of bounds now. Because we can't make use, well, we could, I suppose, make use of this loop, but it's not going to help us. If a path goes in here, it would have to go out again. So it's not possible to get both paths in and out of box 8 again. So what that means is, if we ever breach box 9, we'll have to exit as well. So, sorry, let me try and explain this better. If you ever go from box 6 to box 9, you will have to go out again. So if the red path does go into box 9, say it does this, it can't get out through box 8. So it's going to have to get out through box 6 as well. And there's only 3 entries and exit cells, so you can't do it. So somehow now this is going to close here and this is going to close here. I don't know how that's going to work. But the green path now in box 7 has to go there. The green path is that's interesting. It's equal to a single cell. in box 7? Because the red path only spends this cell in box 7. So surely we can rule out the green path doing that. Let's just stare at that for a moment. How many cells is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that doesn't work. Because again, I can mitigate the value. So it's not like we say, okay, well, the minimum sum of those is 21. That's not true. Because we don't have to have the values there of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, albeit that they are the digits, the lowest digits I could put into those cells. Because I could copycat the 6, for example, and swap its value for a 1 elsewhere in the grid, it's possible you could have the value of 6 cells being only 16. That is possible. I mean, but it's no use, because what we can't do is write 16 into this cell. So in fact, oh, is that recording still working? Yes, it is. Oh gosh, I had a horrible moment there where I worried it wasn't working, but it is. Right, so we can't do that. We can't do that. So what we've got to do is not that. So we've got to go straight down. So that is the path. 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. So the minimum value of this is 7, I'm going to claim now. Although we have got blackcurrants to deal with. The way I got 7 was I said, in fact, one of those is a copycat cell now, isn't it? One of those is a copycat cell. Because if they were all natural, the minimum they could be would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that would sum to 10, and I can't write 10 into this cell. So one of these is copycatable, which means the rest of the box is natural. What colour should we have for natural? Grey or green? Actually, green is looking quite pretty there. So one of these is reducing its value. So let's say that the natural digits there had the lowest values they could. They would be, I don't think they can be 1, 2, and 3 because they're all on blackcurrants. But let's say they could be. That would be 6 plus the value of the copycat cell, which would be a minimum of a 1. So that would get us to 7. So this is at least a 7. But yeah, you've actually got 5 digits there being linked by black dots. Now that's absolutely impossible without copycatage, or even copyratage, because let's think about the doubling relationships that you've got for the digits 1 to 9. 1 and 2, that would work. 2 and 4, that would work. 4 and 8, that would work. 3 and 6 would work, but nothing else would work. 5s, 7s, and 9s are not in doubling relationships with any other Sudoku digits. Now, if this involved 3 and 6, that's no use to man nor ornament, is it? Because you could do, I don't know, you could do 3, 6. Now this has to have the value of 12 or 3 again. Now you could let it have the value 3 again if this was a 3 and you copycatted it out, but then this would have to have the value of 1.5 or 6, and you've already used 6 and 1.5 isn't allowed. So there's definitely no 3s and 6s on this, in that sort of Z pentomino of blackcurrants. So what we're using is 1, 2s, 4s and 8s. Now what we can't do is allow a natural 8 to appear in these cells, because obviously that's going to blow this total. Once you add a natural 8 to 2 other natural digits plus a copycat value, you're going to go over 10. So you want to, do I want to copycat out the 8? Is that the idea? It's actually a bit weird, this, because you've got the 5th cell. So ordinarily 1, 2, 4, 8 would work, but then I'd have to have a value of 4 there. So those two would have to have the same value. Is that... So if that was the copycat cell... hang on, let me just think this through. 1, 2, 4... 1, 2, 4... Well, I suppose that, okay, maybe I'm not thinking about this very clearly, I don't think, but one thing we could say is that we know that these... I know the 3 values. There must be 3 green values in this segment, and I know that the selectable digits for those green values are from 1, 2, 4 and 8. So I could use 1, 2 and 4 as an absolute minimum for those values, and then plus the copycat cell, which must be worth at least 1. So it's going to be 1, 2 and 4 is 7 plus at least 1. So this is at least an 8 now. So, but this digit can't be... Yeah, that's it. That's how to do it. It's weird, actually. The way to do it is to look at this digit and consider what its value is. Because I need, basically, if I didn't use 1, 2 and 4 as the natural digits, I would have to have a natural 8 in this sequence, which I cannot have. So the natural 8 must be here. It must be. Because if I made, another way to think about that is if I made that 1, 2 and 4, the 3 natural digits on there, which are selectable from 1, 2, 4 and 8, would have to include the 8. That's nonsense. So this is 8. Now, this one is a 4 in value. But could I import the value of 4? No. If I imported the value of 4, then this would have to be a 2. This could be a natural 4, and that would have no fill. So that is a natural, that's a natural 4. And okay, and then this one, that's either got a natural value of 2 or it's an imported value of 2. I mean, it seems like that has to be 9 now because that's an 8, so let's just put that in. Yeah, so I think we are going to be importing a value of 2 because I'm going to have 4, 2 and 1 on here as natural digits, plus the difference, the copycatted in value, which is going to take us up from 7 to this value, which is now 9. So I think this might be a copycat cell. So if that's copycatted, it would have the value of 2, which means this would have to be a natural cell. So this would have to be natural 1. Yeah, so this is always natural 1 because it can never be natural 4 anymore. And yet it is linked to a cell that has a value of 2, whether this is copycatted or not. But then, yes, okay, so we don't know, do we? One of these is a 2. An actual 2. One of these is an actual 2, and the other one has a value of 2, which is being imported from that cell or that. So one of those is, this is a bizarre pencil mark, but one of those is a 2. Oh, they're on grapes. Oh, that's beautiful. Right. This is, wow, is it? I think that's probably intended. I need to think about this now, but let's just come back here and just mull this for a moment. Now that's a real 9. Yeah, that's lovely. That's a 6 by parity. Because I know one of these is an actual 2. One of those is a copycatted value of 2, but one of them is an actual 2, but by parity this digit is a natural digit and it's opposite parity to 9, so that is a 6. Now, so these digits are odd. They are from 3, 5 and 7. And one of the, I think it might be up here that we have to look now. But I'm slightly confused about, well, what I wanted to do, which I don't think is valid actually, although it might be because that, no, it is valid. Yeah, what we're being told here, and we're probably being told many things, but we're being told this is not a copycat cell. Because if that was a copycat cell, it would have the value of 1, which is its equivalent here, and it would be next to a cell that has the value of 2 on a grape, and 2 and 1 are not 5 apart. So that cell is a green cell, which means it is a high value, because the 2, whichever of these is a natural 2, just let me think about this. It's not possible, is it, that the cell that is... Can you have copycats pointing at each other? Is that allowed? The value of a copycat cell equals the digit in the cell. Yeah, you can actually. So maybe if the copycat cell here was picking up a 3, 5 or 7, it would be a high value. Actually, it's still true to say that this... I'm not sure now. I'm getting very confused with these going... the possibility of copycat cells pointing at each other. Oh, okay. I can avoid all of this, can't I? Marty, you are a clever man. All right. Okay, let's take a brief excursion from looking at grapes in box 3. Why have I got a 9 in there? I don't know, but that's a bizarre thing. I don't know when that happened. But what I want to say is that the green path and the red path are only spending a cell in box 3. So these cells, how are we going to equate their values? Because we have to. Well, the answer is one of them must be a funny old digit, mustn't it? One of them is a Copyrat digit, which means all of these are natural. And I think that's going to make it much... Actually, all of those are natural now as well. I think that's going to make it much easier to understand the grape. Because now there is a natural 2 in one of those, and that is a natural digit that's got to be at least 5 different from 2 on the grape. So that is a 7, 8 or a 9. Why did I think this was a 9? I don't know. That's a weird one. I don't know. That's just an absolute bizarre. Now, we've got quite a lot of parity dots here that are not impacted by this funny thing here. And we know if the rat, if the green rat was copycatting, it would have the value of 4. So this would be a natural digit that needed to have the value of 4, so it would just be a 4. So that's possible. That is a 4. But if this is the copycat cell, that has the value of 8. Which means this is a natural 8. That's absolutely ridiculous. That doesn't work. Okay, hang on. Let me explain this. This is just brilliant. Right, what we've got to do to see why this is a problem, we have to use the red currants and imagine this is a natural digit. So let's quickly make it natural. So what we're saying is we're analysing the situation where the cupcake is the copycat. Now you can see that the cell opposite the copycat is an 8, so we'd have to make this a natural 8, so these paths equated. But now look at the way that the parity would flow along the red currants. This would be an even digit, and this would be an even digit, and it only has the option to be another 8, so that doesn't work. That is hard but brilliant, and that means that this is natural, which means that this is picking up the value of 4, so that is a 4. Now, what on earth does that mean? I don't know. It probably does mean something for this. I mean, that cell can now contain anything, though. But, oh no, but is it the value for the red currants? It must be the value. It's the value for everything. Hang on. Red currants. Value. Right, so the value of this is even because it's picking up the value of 4. So the value of this is odd. It's not 2 then, is it? So that must be 2. Right, so that 2 is that one. So this one is the naughty digit. This is the copyrat digit. This is a natural digit. So that is a natural 2. This is not a natural 2. So this is 3, 5, or 7. But it's picking up the value of this 2. Now, that's got an even value. So this is an odd cell. Oh, hang on. We're in the same situation before. Before I do that, if that's even value, that's even value, and that's even value. So that's got to be an 8. And that's got to be a 6. So we get all the evens immediately in this box. The rest of them are all odd digits. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Let me just double check that now. So, oh, this is on a grape, and it's so this 8 has to be at least 5 different from this cell. So this is a 1 or a 3. And this is there's no special rule for the rat, is there? The rat could be. It's quite hard to keep all the rules in your head. Okay, so this is value. This is A4. This has value 4. And these are just oscillating parities, so that's fine. Oh dear, I'm feeling that this might run dry now. Okay. So if that was a natural green grape, if this was natural, you'd have to put a 3 on it because it would need a low digit. If you think about grapes, grapes can never contain a 5. Let's ignore copycatting. A grape could never contain a 5 because the next digit across the domino would have to be at least 5 different from 5, and no Sudoku digit meets that criteria. So one digit's going to be lower than 5 and the other digit's going to be higher than 5, but the only lower than 5 digit we've got here is 3. But there's the possibility, if that was copycatted, that could bring in a low value, which could be a 1, 2, or a 4. So I don't think I can do anything with that. This digit might be the one we have to think about, actually, because, or maybe not, though. Well, how could this is a grape digit? You can see it's on grapes. Now, for it to be a low digit, it would have to be 1, 2, or 3. But I don't think it can. It definitely can't be 1. I don't think it can be 3 even, because the red rat is only spending 1 cell of time, and it's a natural cell of time in box 1. So this green path, whatever it sums to, and it might include nonsenses, although actually there's no nonsenses in those. Look, we can do all this greenification. Look, I can do all this. Loads of greenification. None of those green cells can now be copycat. I was about to say can be path, but they can't be copycat. Yeah, but this natural digit is the sum of 2 natural digits here, plus at least this cell, or this cell's copycat value. So even if these were minimumed, in fact, this can't be, hang on, that's at least a 3 as well, so it's just impossible. 3 plus 1, we're already at 4. So this is definitely higher. This is on the high side of 5, and it's not 6 or 9, so that's 7 or 8, which means this digit, which is natural, is 1, 2, or 3. Oh, nearly. That we don't know whether this... Oh, no, hang on, we do. This column is all natural. So this is a natural low digit as well, 1, 2, or 3 as well. There's no grape there. There is a grape here. The sneeze is trying to reappear. Go away, sneeze. Naughty sneeze. Bad sneeze. Okay. I don't know. So do I know whether this is... Oh, actually, hang on. If this is at least 3, which it is, do we know that this can't be a 1? Not really. So the minimum out of those 2 is 4. And then we're just adding the value of this. Or are we? Why is it necessarily the case that it does... Oh, goodness. Yeah, it could go there, couldn't it? I mean, it probably can't be a 4-cell path, can it? But bearing in mind, one of these could copycat themselves. Yeah, the best one to copycat itself would be this one. Although that couldn't be a 1. So that could have a value of 2. So 3, 1, 2, that's 6. But this wouldn't actually be a 2. It would just have the value of 2. So 3, 1, 2, 2. 3, that's 8. Oh, no. That is 8. Oh, dear. Okay, so I can't rule that out. Oh, that's sickening. And the problem with Marty is, Marty would delight. He would absolutely relish, me not... Or, I've just seen another possibility. It could go there and then diagonally up. Or it could go there. I mean, maybe it does that. Oh, bobbins. So I don't know whether it goes into that one or not. It probably... I think there's only one version of it I've seen which doesn't, but I think it could still do that. So, is there a reason I know this is natural? Would I care if I knew there was a 3 in one of these? Is it something to do with the fact that the path has to... no, the path does. The path does have to take at least one of these 2 cells. It does. Otherwise, it can't get through. So if there was a 3 on this grape, then you would have to copycat that digit out. If I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I really think this cell is going to be a 3. I really think that's true. If it wasn't, it would be a 5 at least. Oh, no, it can't be a 5. It's on a grape. Oh, hang on, it can't be 6. Or can it? Oh, no, there's something going on with this cell. I haven't quite got it, but I think if it's not 3, it's high on the... because it's natural. So it would be at least 6. Now, if it's 6, the only way it could be 6 is if this cell was a copycatter. And that would have to get a 1 from here, which looks possible. Because it couldn't get a natural 1. So that could perhaps be 6. Except it can't, can it? No, it really can't. It really can't. Because if this was a 6, this would be a copycat cell, which means that the natural digit here, it would be a natural digit because this is a copycat, which the path has to go through to get green from here to here, would be at least a 3. And then, therefore, we'd have 6 plus 3 plus that digit. And that's more than 7 or 8. So that is not 6. So it would be, it's now at least 7 or it's 3. Now, if it's 7, again, it's too big. Because even if this is a 1, and even if we copycat in a 1 in this position, that's already 9, which this can't be. So this is not a high digit, it is a low digit, and the only option is 3. That's really quite difficult. Now, that unfortunately doesn't tell us what this is, or its copycatable nature. It does tell us that isn't a 3. And that doesn't put any pressure on the grape. So... okay, but now this it's not on a... I was thinking it was on a grape. It's not on a grape at all. But okay, but maybe we can view it as if it is on a grape. Could it? It can't be 5. It can't be 5 because 5 plus 3 is 8 plus whatever else we're putting in, and whether these are not connected yet, would take us up above 8. So it can't be 5. So it's lower than 5. So it's 1 or 4. Now, for it to be 4, you'd have to close this. This would have to be... that would have to be a copycatted 1 from here. Might be possible. But okay, let's try it the other way then. If this is a 1, on the other hand, that's a 2 and that's a 3. So this would definitely be an 8. But then the path could go down and then across, and then it'd pick up some value from there. That could be a 1 or a 2. It'd have to be a 1, actually. Right. Okay, here's a different way to think about this then. Is the path going through one of these 2 cells? The answer is clearly yes, to connect these up. Even if it goes to this cell, it's still got to get to that one. So one of these is definitely on the path, at least. Now, what's the digit in that cell? It can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4, so it's at least 5. If it was natural, it can't work, because 3 plus at least 5 is 8, plus this digit is 9, and that can't be a 9. So the digit that is on the path that is in one of those 2 cells, and now there can only be one, is the copycat cell. Because it needs to not have its natural value, which means this is a natural grape, these are all natural, that means this digit is 8 or 9 to be different from 3 by enough. Oh, this is just such a brilliant... It's to have the ability to create something like this is just off the scale brilliant. Now, so there's definitely a low digit on here, which is not a 3. Okay, and the digit that's being imported is either it's one of these two digits. Oh, that's no good at all. I mean, I know it's not an 8 then. I wasn't thinking it would be. It's going to be a low digit from there. But I mean, but I'm not saying it has to be a 1 or a 2 particularly. I think it could be either. It may even be possible for it to be 3. Yeah, 3, 3. If it was this one and that one was a 3, it would go 3, 3, 1 perhaps, and that could be a 7. Am I looking in the wrong place here then? Is there something else I'm meant to pick up on? This digit is now at least a 5. So the value of those two together is at least 13, and obviously there's got to be something else. So those three have to get to at least 14 in value, which is nearly difficult. It can't involve 9 or 6. Can't put a 7-8 pair there because that would break this cell. So actually that is interesting. Hang on, let me just think about that. What's the maximum that domino could add up to? It could be 8, and that would leave this to be a 7. 8, 5 maybe? So if that's 8, 5, that's 13, and that was a 3. No, you can't do that. You can't do 8, 5 and 3 because then this cell would be another 8 to be sufficiently different from 3. 8, 5, 2 might be okay if this is a 7. 8, 5, 2 is 15. 8, 5, 2, 15. So the maximum value of this cell, which is at least a 5, right, it can't, does that, okay, I don't think this can be a 7, this cell, because if it's a 7, plus 8's 15, even if this was a 1 cell, which it can't be, maybe we could get a 1 from here or something, that would be more than, that would be 16. I don't think I can make this add up to 16. Is there some other way of doing it? I can have one of the digits 7 and 8. I'd much rather have 8, please. I could have 5. That gets me to 13. And then that can't be 3. Yeah, I think this is 5 or 6. Now, I suppose, okay, does that mean, okay, so this cell is not on the path? Because that cell, again, it's at least a 5. So if that's on the path, we're already at 18. That's definitely wrong. Right, so that's green, yeah. This is definitely rinky-dinking. But the thing is, it could be rinky-dinking into a copycatter. So I can't even say that. Yeah, look, all the low digits are available here. Is it this grape? I don't know. This is bizarre, isn't it? Have I missed some logic? I'm trying to hang on. If in doubt, just check the instructions, just to make sure that I haven't missed. I've got copycat cell. Oh, you can't repeat a digit. I don't know what any of the copycat digits are. I literally know none of them. Is that true? I think it's true. Okay, so I can't use that. It must be this thing about having the same value in all the boxes. Yeah, is it that? They have to be in a black dot relationship. So Okay, right, that is interesting actually. I don't think that's natural then, is it? I mean, this might be an example of, gosh, how have I already had an hour? I've only just started. Well, I know it looks like I've only just started the puzzle, but goodness. Right. I think I might have made a bit of a Horlicks here, because I've just realised that I think I might have been able to say at the very beginning that these two cells were not natural. Because if they are natural, how do they work? Well, we can see that we've got one cell of time, or one cell of red in box 8, and two cells of green. So this is definitely the higher digit on the black dot, isn't it? This is the higher of the two digits, which means this is half of whatever this digit is. Well, if that's true, what's this digit? So imagine this is 6 and this is 3. In order to equate the paths, this digit is going to be another 3, isn't it? That cannot be true. So there's definitely rinky-dinkage going on that dot, and there has been from the very beginning. And some of you, I'm sure, will have seen that instantly, and I just didn't think about it at all. But yeah, okay. So now, all right, I dimly see how this works now. So now, this one can never be importing the value, because it's really beautiful, actually. Because you import the value for all purposes. Let's say you imported a value of 8 here. Well, then this digit has to be half 8. So it's going to be 4, and it's going to be natural, and then that digit's going to have to be the same again. So the only way... How do you see this, Marty, so naturally? It's weird. It's actually a very beautiful point. That the black dot, combined with the 2-length path versus the 1-length path, always forces these two cells to have the same value as each other. And how can you ever do that in a puzzle, in a Sudoku puzzle? The only way is to make one of them naughty. This one is natural. So, oh no, I don't know though, but it's picking up that value, isn't it? Which I don't know anything about at all. Okay, but this... Oh, it's lovely. No, this is great. Right. So what are the possible ways that this black... let's just think about what we could have as the high value on a black dot. This is a high natural black dot value. So it's not 9, 7 or 5. They're impossible. So it's not 4 or 8. So it is either 6, whoopsie, 6 or it can't be 3, because then this would be 6. That's the only possible value, or 2. It's 6 or 2. Now these two are going to have the same value, with this one being half of this value. So that is a 1 or a 3. It can't be a 1. So this is 3. This has the value of 3. This is a 6. If it has the value of 3, this is it. Look. Because that one's that one. So that's a 3, which makes this a 1 and that a 2. So that's presumably doing something. Let me just tidy up all these pencil marks. I'm very sorry, because I think I was probably meant to start here. I just didn't see it. It's just not... Oh, that's a 3 by Sudoku. Okay, so this is a 1, 2, 4, 8 situation, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. How can that not do a 6 in one of those? It felt like a real flurry of activity, and then it's just stopped, hasn't it? Have I... And now I've got a 2. I can't remember what the options were in that cell. Oh, that's not a 3. Oh, well, why is that? Oh, yes, that's true. I get a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right. So, I tell you what we probably can't do, actually. This is a fairly basic point as well. If that's a 7, that's going to make that an 8, and then I can't really put any high digits on this. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. If that's 7 and that's 8, the maximum value of these was 5, 4, 3. That only adds up to 12, and we're already at 13 on the left, even not including whatever else is joining the path up. So that's a 5, and that's probably been available for ages as well. Okay, and we can't repeat a digit on a purple, so that's not a 5 anymore. Now what does that do? I don't know. Oh wow. Oh wow, I don't know. So this dot here now, it doesn't have 2 or 3 on it, so it's got 1 or 4 on it. If it's got 4 on it, it would have to be 4, 9. But if it's got 1 on it, it's not got 7 or 8 on it. So the digits on it are from 1, 4, 6, 9. And we can do a little bit of tidying up, look, because we've got a 1, 6 pair there. So that's 4 or 9. Which means this can't be 6 in the corner, because that would require a 1 beneath it. So that is now 1, 4, 9 triple, look. So there is definitely a 9 on the grape. I'm sure this is important somehow. So I've got 1, 4, 9, 2 and 3, so 5, 6, 7 and 8 to place. So that is a 5 or a 6. Oh, what we might be able to do now is stop this cell being on the path. Actually, we can probably stop... this will be good if we can do this. We can probably stop all 3 of these cells in column 1 from being on the green path in box 1. These are too big, aren't they? If I go 3 to 4, that would make this a 1. That's already 8, and I haven't connected them up. That's too much. If I go there, I'm already at 8, and I've got 9 then. It doesn't work at all. So I'm not visiting any of those cells. I can't go directly to the 2, so I definitely do go to this cell. I'm not saying that's a copycat cell, but I do go to it. Now, if this was a natural cell, we're broken again, because it would be at least a 5, and I'd be at 8 plus 9, and that's more than this. So that's not natural, that's copycatted. So this cell is not on the path either, because that's now natural and would have a value of at least 5. So we can do that. Now I don't know whether I can go into the 2, or whether I go directly to the whatever this is, a 1 or a 4. But we do know that we're picking up this value. Oh dear, 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 that might be broken though, because that's at least a 3 now. It sees 1 and 2. So that's at least a 3. So we definitely can't go into the 2. We can't, yeah. Well, we're at 6 minimum for these 2 cells. So that has to be a 1, because that's definitely on the path. So this is definitely a 3. This is definitely an 8. Right, and this is 4, 9 now on the grape. And these digits of 5s, 6s and 7s, and that's a 5, 6, 7 triple in the column. So this is 8 or 9. Now this can't be 5 because it's on the purple, and we've already had a copyratted purple. It can't be 6 by Sudoku, so that's a 7. Oh, that means... Right, that means this isn't 7, that's got to be 9. So I've now had 5, 7 and 9 in my copycat cells. So this is great. This is actually doing something. Oh, well, no, it's not. I thought it was going to, but then it decided to. It would. What's it called in Romeo and Juliet? Do you doff your cap at me, sir, or something? I can't remember. Well, this puzzle doffed its cap at me. Let me tell you. I'm sure it's not. It's not that, is it? It's something like, "Do you cock your snook at me, sir?" No, it's not that either. No, I can't remember. It's like the Mercutio Tybalt thing at the start. Anyway, let's carry swiftly on. Oh, well, this is good. Hang on. By Sudoku, I now know the sum of this. 14. That's not possible, is it? Oh, no, it is just. Oh, goodness. Right, well, it must be 5, and it must be 8 for 13, and then I've got to get 1 of value, and that must be delivered by this cell. But, because otherwise we can't close the path quickly enough. We can only have 1 more digit on, and it's got to add up to 1. But, of course, this could be getting a 1 from here. So I don't know what that is. I do know... Right, I do know that by Sudoku, these digits are 1, 2 and 6. So that's a 5. That's a 6. These digits now are a 1, 2. They're a 1, 2, 6 as well. 1, 2, 6 again. I said this the other day. That's the bus I used to get from Beckenham Junction. It was never there on time. Where the honeysuckle clutters up the vine, I really am a fixin' to go home and start a mixing down below that Mason-Dixon line. Oh, sorry, no, I mustn't sing Tom Lehrer. Oh, dear. What does that mean? It must be to do with the path through here. Do I now know it? Oh, I've got an... Oh, right. Well, I've now got an 8 here. So this digit is either... It's not 1 or 2, so it's 3 or 4. It can't be more than that, otherwise we're importing too much value. And if I only imported a 3 of value, I would be on a count of 7 for the given cells, and I couldn't get an extra 1, so that has to be a 4. Which does the most remarkably small amount, doesn't it? I.e. nothing. You rotten thing. But we do know that the path then closes there. So we did at least gain a tiny bit of insight. Now, what does that mean, I hear you ask? And the answer is I don't know. Do I know what that cupcake is now, given it can't be 5, 7 or 9? It can't be many things. 1 it can be. That is allowed. Can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be 8 bobbins. 1 or 8. Oh, I know what it is. It's this dot, isn't it? This dot is restricted. It's not 3 or 6. So, and it can't be 2 or 4 in this position. So it's 1 or 8 in this position. And this digit is 2 or 4, therefore. That's a 1-8 pair. Right, what do we need? 5, 7, 9. Yes. Yeah, that's great. Look at this digit. I think we need 5, 7 and 9 to complete row 8. And that digit's a 9 then by Sudoku. And that's... Is that doing anything? 9 has already been a naughty, so that's got to be a nice. 5 and 7 have already been naughty. Oh, I could have done it just by using the purplification of this cell. So one of these is naughty. One of those two is definitely naughty. These are not naughty, so one of these is definitely naughty. Oh, lovely. Here's a lovely point. Right. This digit is now jolly tiny indeed. So is it possible that the red path exits immediately into box 5? No, because this path, wherever it goes, would then have to sum to 1 or 2 by the time it got to here. It can't do that. It's at least 3 cells of naturalness. So the red path must go high, not hit the green path, so it's actually forced this. You've got, oh, whoopsie, you've got to do that, and then down again, and the red path goes there. Okay, the red path looks like it could go a whole myriad of ways, but that green path has got really restricted now. And that probably matters. I know that's not the most logical way to describe what's going on, but it's true. Do we know? Oh, what's the funny digit here then? Again, it's not 5, 7, or 9, is it? Which is taking... Yeah, that's good. Surely that's good. So the funny digit in row 1, it is 4, I think. Because it can't be 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. They've already been funny digits. 6 or 8. So there is a 4 in one of those cells. Unfortunately, I don't know which one. But that means that this is an 8-9 pair. It means this is a 4. This is a 9. Now I know what these 3 digits are. Oh, which is probably not actually... No, that's probably not very intelligent, but it's something. 4, 5, 7. Right. Nine goes here. Just that's Sudoku down there. And oh no, hang on. So what do I need down here? I've got a 1-8 pair. Is it just 2s, 4s, 5s, and 7s? Oh yes. There's 4. There's a natural 4 here, and that's on the dot. So that's an 8. This is a 1. Here we go. 2. No. Okay. Maybe. Do some... What else do I need down here? 2, 5, 7. 2, 5, 7. Okay, but can we do the maths on this box? Yeah. Yes, surely I can. Yeah, all I've got to do is compare these and see which is going to make the total sum. So on this one, I've got 19 either added to a 1 or a 6. So I've either got 20 or 25. It can't be 20 unless this is seriously reducing its value. But sorry, let's just do the work. Oh no, well it depends, doesn't it? It depends which of these is importing. Well, 3 and 4 is not changing the value very much. So that would give me 12, 15, 19. Yeah, the values are too close together. Yeah, what we have to do, I think, is import the 9. which is going to seriously, it's going to increase the value of the plain vanilla digits on this L or V pentomino by 5, isn't it? Because we're going to have 5, 7, and then rather adding the 4, we're going to add the 9. And what that's going to allow us to do is to make this a 1 and this a 6 and equate them. Whereas if, I don't really know how to explain it any better than that. If this was swapping with this digit, the sum of these is basically going to be double 3, which is 6, plus 12, which is 18. And then we're adding 1 or 6 to that, and we can't make it work. So what we need to do is this one. This one is the naughty one. That is a 4. This is not naughty and is nice. And the 4 picks up the 9. So the sum of these is now 12, 21, 24. Let's add 1 to that for 25. And if we make that the 6, we should get 25 here, unless I've gone crazy. And we do. So that is how it works. And surely that does... Oh no, that does nothing. Oh dear, dear, dear. That's not very good, is it? Okay, what it does do is it means those cells are not nasty cells anymore. So there is a naughty cell in one of these. Oh. No, okay, I can't see. Oh, 9. I've got a 9 here. Right, so that's 9, and that's 8. Good. That improves things a little bit. What about these cells in row 9? Can we do those? 2, 6, 2, 6, 8. Chocolate teapotted, let me tell you, I think we are. That can't be 6. That can't be 8. That can't be 2. Chocolate teapotted, a go-go. What about those then? Oh, well, we might get there's a possibility. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Yeah, that digit's quite interesting. That's 1 or 3 only. Um, 2, 3, 5, 7. 1, 2, 5, 7. Oh dear, that's not very good, is it? Okay, sorry. Oh dear, right, so can we work out what the naughty digit is there? Okay, what have we had by way of naughty digits? Well, what have we not had? We haven't had 2, 3, 6, 8. That is actually really nearly interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. That is it. Right. Look at, so these digits, I don't know what the naughty digit here is, but it's not 3 and it's not 8 by Sudoku. So it is 2 or 6. So there's a naughty 2 or 6 here. And what's the naughty digit in that string? It's also 2 or 6. It can't be 1 because we've got a naughty 1 already. So there's a 2 or a 6 here and a 2 or a 6 here. So the digits that I've not allowed to be naughty yet are 3 and 8. And that is perfect for this box, because the 8 doesn't seem to be able to be naughty. So it must be a naughty 3 and it has to be there. So that gives us the naughtiness. It gives us it makes this nice. It means there's a naughty 1 in one of those, which is a naughty 8, remember, which is, okay, it's not that one. So there's a naughty 8 in one of these two. Naughty 3 here, so this is not a 3 anymore. And this is, okay, that is a 2, 6, 8 triple as well. So that's a 5, 7 pair, and this is a 1, apparently. That's probably been available for ages, I just didn't see it. And if there's naughty 8 there, that's doing my chocolate teapot. So that's 2, that's 6, that's 8. Now these squares are 1, 4, 4, 6, 1, 4, 6. Oh no, that's terrible. Can't do that at all. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 down here. Let's just I'm going to pencil mark it. I know it's silly, but let's just see if we can do anything intelligent with it. And these squares are 2, 3, 2, 3, 5, 7. That's definitely not 3. That's definitely not 5. And that one could be anything. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, okay. Right, I know what to do next though, because I think we needed that to have the value of 1. And if this was a naughty, it would get that value, and that is not a 1. So that's a natural, that's actually just a 1, but it's not it's a natural one. So now neither of these is a 1. Which means this is not a 1. Now what do we do? We can pencil mark 1 into one of 2 places in box 5. We can I don't know what we can I don't know what we can do with that. Oh, you rotten puzzle. One of these. One of these is 2 or 6, but it's so if 2. No, okay, this is lovely. This is a weird point, but it's true. I know now, at this point, I am right. You can't put the naughty, the copyrat cell into these 2 cells. You can't do it for the most delightful reason. Imagine you did. Imagine we suddenly said, okay, this is the copyrat cell. We know it's a 2 or a 6 in this box. The point is that this one is a copyrat cell, which means that one is now a copyrat cell. But these are different digits, and they both look at that digit. So this could be neither 2 or 6, and the world would end. So that is not the copyrat cell, but that logic is equally applicable to this cell. If this was copyratted, that would be copyratted. They would be a different 2-6 pair, and that cell would be impossible. So that's probably my favourite thing about this puzzle so far, and there have been a lot of things about this puzzle that are quite unbelievable. But look! Now we've done it. Well, not done it, but we've got all of the thingies done, and we know that that's the 8 then. So that is an 8. Let's tidy up our pencil. Yes, 8 in the middle box is now placed. So 4, 5, 7 into the column, and that's not 5. 4, 7 pair, so that's not 4, that's not 7. Now, so that digit is the same as this digit. So that goes in one of those, because if that's a 2, obviously this is a 6, because you can't repeat the digit in the copycat. So that one and that one are the same, and they go in one of those 2 or 6, but I don't think I know which one. None of those digits can be 2 or 6, because they're going to see this sort of floating pair. And I still haven't even thought about how the paths make their way, so that's probably what we're going to have to do. Okay, let's well, what shall we do here, actually? I think I've got to pencil mark at least these 2 cells, possibly more. Okay, let's bite that bullet. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 here. But this cell is definitely not 3 by Sudoku, and it's definitely not 2 because it sees a 2 and a 6 in those two cells. So that is 1, 5, or 7. Okay. That, unfortunately, is not it, is it? Bother. That's not 5 by Sudoku, I can see that. Oh, that's not 7 either, because there's this 4, 7 pair here. Oh, so the rest of this row, is that what I've got to look at? 1, 2, 3. Where's 9 in row 6? Has that been available forever? Oh, it probably has. I just didn't see it. That's a 9. So this column, right, this digit's restricted. This is it. This is it. Right, look at column. Look at this digit. Because by Sudoku now, it is 2, 5, 6, or 7, but it sees this 2, 6 pair, so it is 5 or 7. And if it's 5 or 7, it matches up with its friend at the top and makes this digit a 2. This is now 5, 7, so that's not. This is a 1. That's a 1. Which presumably does something. Yeah, that makes this a 1. Come on. Oh, I've got a 2, 3 pair in this row, so that's going to do it, because that's a 6 now, so that's a 2, so that's a 6, that's a 4, that's a 6. This is not a 2 anymore. Please don't. Please, 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 please don't. There's a 5, 7 pair there, so that's a 9. So this digit is not 5 or 7. 2, 3 deadly pattern, of course there is. So that's going to have to get resolved by the paths. 4, 7, 7, 4. 7 here is good, isn't it? Yeah, 7, 5. Okay. Wow. So is it now that we have to start thinking about the paths? It probably is, isn't it? 10. Yeah, this is where we do it. This is where we do it. Let's look at this digit. Oh no, hang on, I've got to... I forgot. I was about to add those two together. That's totally wrong, isn't it? I've got to add this one. Because this is taking that value. That changes things. So the value of this domino is either 13 or 15. And we've got to equate that with red. 15 would work if it went like that. Oh, and 13 would work if it went like that. I don't believe it. Oh, that's terrible. Wow. Okay, so what have I missed here? Or is it this box that I have to figure out? That 8 is not on a path, so there's going to be natural paths going through this box. I don't... Oh, I can do more Sudoku. I was about to say I can't do more Sudoku. I actually can. So I do. Oh, right. That's better. That's surely better. Okay, so this domino adds up to 13 now. That cell plus that cell. And we've already got 10 on the other line. So I've got to add 3 more. And the only way I can do that, given I can't repeat the 1, is to use 3. Now, if I put the 3 here, the line isn't closed up. So that does finish the puzzle, actually. But what it doesn't do is explain the path through box 6. So let us consider that. Right, we know there's no copycats involved, so it's just... So at the moment I've got 11, which I could just close with a diagonal. So, oh, and I've got... No, that's no good. I've got 10 on the other line, so I can't add 1 to that. That's terrible. Right, so it doesn't close like that. So if it does that... Oh, it can't. No, it can't do that. It can't come to that cell because I couldn't get this one out. Oh, so it's got to go like that, I think. Which is 17. So I need another 7. Oh, I see. Yeah, I can do that. I could do 5, 2, and then oh, I'm not doing it in the right colour though. So let me just correct that. I think we go like that through box 6. Now let's just check that the paths are joined up. I think they are. That is an incredible puzzle, Marty. It's taken me ages, absolutely ages. But I mean, how could you solve that and not give it 100%? Well, everyone has, and that's a good thing. It is just, it's mind-blowingly clever. Have I actually done it? Yeah. Oh, okay. And I get an absolutely loads of stuff here. Can I want to say I like it first. Now, experiment completed successfully. Test date 21st of the 1st, 1975. Cells visited 41. Blackcurrants eaten 3. Redcurrants eaten 0. Grapes eaten 2. Considering she is the result of a malfunction, I continue to find it staggering just how similar she is to Finkz, with an F, not just in appearance but in temperament and spirit. Yet there are some notable differences. Finkz, with a PH, is ever so slightly heavier, with darker hair on her underside and scarring on her front left foot, no doubt caused by the teleport's spike in temperature as she arrived. This is really the only way I can tell them apart by sight. Wow, that is a brilliant puzzle. It's very, very, very clever indeed. It's taken me a long time. Forgive me for that, but let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.